A couple weeks ago, we covered Israel's new plan to engage in this private-public partnership, one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
A private-public partnership is truly beautiful.
There's no waste, fraud, and abuse in that arrangement whatsoever.
Yes, sir, a little PPP.
Charging like $6 billion per bolt, that's good.
That's good. That's good and great. So Israel engaged in a new public-private partnership to handle the aid distribution in Gaza. This week, it's just a total shit show.
Oh,
it started May 26th, and it just has not gone well at all.
Oh, that's where we got the pictures of people like lined up in cages, essentially, right?
Yeah,
it was like the
that.
Drone shot, and it was like 4 or 5 lines of people just in cages waiting for food.
Yeah, shit's fucked up.
And this is, of course, after Israel hadn't allowed in aid for, I think, 7 weeks or something like that.
I thought it was 3 months.
Was it 3 months?
I thought they cut off aid like March 2nd.
Yeah, it was March 2nd. So what was it, a full June? 3 months?
Almost, right?
Yeah.
Wait, March, April, May. Yeah,
full 3 months.
Like almost a full 3 months where they just did not let any new aid in whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or maybe like little spats here and there. I saw China dropped some aid in with planes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Doing something real.
And they'd already said, like, Ben-Gvir was like, we should starve them out. That should be our policy. Smotrich was like, I absolutely bet. Like, I love that idea.
Some dude was like, every Palestinian baby is the enemy.
Yeah, Smotrich and Netanyahu was like, we're letting in aid, but don't worry, we're still going to cleanse the entire area. Like, they were just openly saying this shit. Like, just, I think at one point Netanyahu was like, if we don't let in aid, then the UN's going to get mad at us. That's just an admission that like you would be doing it otherwise. It's like when Greg Abbott was like, I would kill these migrants, but Biden won't let me.
Exactly. It's like a little kid sitting in the garage and like killing animals and thinking, oh, if my mom saw this, I don't think she'd be happy.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught, but we all know what you're doing. So this is after people have just been
it's after a starvation campaign.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
And it's like just to start, the primary justification for setting up this private-public partnership in the first place was Israel's like unfounded claim that the little aid that was making it into the Strip was being looted by Hamas and resold for profit. Israel did nothing to substantiate this. They provided no stats and provided no figures, ontologically opposed to what we do here on this podcast. And on top of that, the UN aid organizations that were operating in Gaza before the blockade said that's just straight up not the case, and that they do have systems in place to make sure aid gets where it's supposed to go.
And even if Hamas was doing that and I condemn Hamas, that doesn't mean you can just not feed people.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the region's kind of chaos. People were being starved even before the blockade happened. Food was not getting in. Enough aid was not getting in. I think 500 aid trucks were getting in every day pre-October 7th, and then it ended up being like 50.
Yeah. And that's not enough to sustain a population of 2 million.
Like, it's just a bad situation. If there's some looting that goes on, I think that's just kind of what happens. I think that's just kind of what happens. So to combat the fake story that they made up, Israel, with the backing of the United States, established a new private organization called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I'll refer to as the GHF going forward. So the GHF works by having aid overseen by the IDF, then handed off to U.S. security personnel for the actual distribution within Gaza inside of like these zones that are under IDF military jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And the IDF is responsible for their security. That's what we're working with here right now. And so in the month or so leading up to the start date of giving out aid last week, Israel claimed that they would be using like an AI facial recognition system to ensure that nobody in Hamas has access to any aid.
I'm sure that's going to go well.
We came out and criticized this as being dumb and stupid because it is. One, it's dumb and stupid because it's just like not a situation where you can really be making sure that anybody who gets access to any aid that you're giving out isn't Hamas because of the fundamental absurdities of entities like Hamas and how you fight them. And two, they just want to throw the AI buzzword in.
They're just throwing the
AI. And I'm always going to be opposed to that.
Yeah.
And this time it happens to also be evil. So I'm right on the money.
It's double evil.
It's double evil. And so just the dumb and stupid idea was never going to work. And I think they knew that because like they're not using any form of verification at all right now to see who they're delivering aid to. So we have a situation where they kicked out the UN and the World Food Program and all these other humanitarian agencies, put themselves in the mix under this false pretense that they just made up, came up with a stupid solution, and then never even tried to implement the stupid solution. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's just
we've got a wonderful operation over there, right? And even then, this is just like a step down from how the UN-backed organizations did things. Organizations like UNRWA did check IDs, and they actually went in there with a database of like registered families that they had to make sure that food was getting to the places that it needed to go.
Yeah, and I was listening to, I believe it was Ryan Grimm on Dropsite News. I think it was him, or maybe it was his partner, I think Jeremy Stansel. But they were talking about how UNRWA is like a special organization with special access throughout the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
And Israel has been for months now, and we've covered it here and there, going after UNRWA, trying to get them denounced and like taken out as an international organization.
Well, they tried to say that they just are Hamas.
Yeah, they've tried to associate them with Hamas. They've been like going after the organization for a long time now, specifically so they can't operate in the Gaza Strip anymore.
Yeah.
And UNRWA is one of like the biggest providers of relief for Palestinians, and it's just remarkably evil.
Yeah, they've been trying to say that they were Hamas since like October 7th started. They've been really trying to do this since back in the Biden administration.
I mean, apparently everyone's fucking Hamas if Miss Rachel is Hamas now.
Oh my God, that discourse is crazy. Miss Rachel has like a young Palestinian child amputee from like a missile strike or something on, and then all of a sudden everybody, Miss Rachel's Hamas, Miss Rachel's doing all this, and now she's doing PCRF fundraisers.
Yeah, aside from like the Fent rockets and the annotated Mein Kampf,
Yeah.
I think the Miss Rachel stuff might be the most absurd things most absurd pieces of IDF propaganda that we've seen out of this conflict.
Like, what do you mean like an Israeli group is doing a targeted push to like defame Miss Rachel, the children's YouTuber?
And it's like, oh no, she's humanizing children.
Oh no, she brought over a child and had the. I don't even think like she did anything like crazy on the kids program. She just had a Palestinian child on, and that's
amputee,
it.
Yeah.
It had her dance and sing.
It's like that's a kid, dog.
They don't fuck with joy.
We're talking exactly. we're talking about children. Like whatever, man. It's crazy.
Anti-joy army, dog. It's actually ridiculous. Oh my goodness. And it's like, I don't have a problem with them not doing like ID verification, not having any verification system. I fuck with feeding people. You know what I'm saying? My problem comes in when they make up a lie, make up another lie about how they're going to solve that lie, when there was never a problem in the first place, just to come into a situation that's already desperate and further weaponize hunger. I don't think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a war crime, right? Weaponizing hunger. I don't think you can starve people out. I don't think that's allowed.
It's like collective punishment.
And well, yeah, collective punishment, of course. And even if it's not listed in like the fucking Geneva Convention, which Pete Hegseth has a problem with, then it's still like an immoral, evil thing to do.
And it's like
starve out a civilian population.
They starved out 2 million people for up to 3 months just so that they could come in and be the sole providers of food. If that's not weaponizing hunger, like I don't know what is.
Yeah.
They've made it so that they themselves are the only people that control it. They've made it so that the occupying military force, the force that is oppositional to the people that live there, are the only people that can give them food, not any independent third party. It sounds pretty bad.
It's like why can't UN associated agencies come in, or like the World Food Kitchen come in and provide stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that you'll kill them.
Other than the fact that, you'll bomb
Which
their
is a
envoys
thing
that are
that's
clearly marked on the roof with World Central Kitchen and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just bad, but that's just the pretext to what's going on. So how is that food providing going? How do you think?
Probably pretty bad, as everything goes over there when the IDF is involved.
Yeah, it's not good. So far, the GHF has set up 4 major distribution sites. This is 100 times less than the 400 points that the UN was distributing aid from.
Of course it is.
We have divided by 100 the food distribution points.
Yeah, I know we talk about the Gaza Strip. Like, the Gaza Strip is small.
Yeah.
We compare it to like Manhattan or Metro Detroit or whatever.
Like, it's not that small.
Israel, we also talk about like Israel as a whole being small. But like, it's still... Like, when you're on the ground there, you're still pretty far.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to walk.
Like,
people are talking about waking up at midnight and walking 7 hours to get to the nearest aid distribution site. There are problems with more aid being like the Rafah area and no aid reaching northern Gaza at all. People are having to make long treks to just maybe not even like get aid.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It's evil. It's evil.
It's evil. It's bad. And the GHF has said that Israel's agreed to expand distribution. They could have saved themselves the logistical nightmare of trying to expand distribution in an active war zone by just letting the UN do its thing.
Yeah, there's many branches of the UN dedicated to exactly this.
Again, there is no reason to be doing this to yourself and to be doing this to the people of Gaza, unless you just came in and wanted to weaponize hunger.
You want them to die.
You wanted to establish this organization to maybe help give you plausible deniability when it comes to the claims that you're inducing famine for political reasons. That's it.
Yeah, we're not causing famine. Look, we have the Gaza Food Distribution Organization.
Exactly. We made up a humanitarian foundation. You can just call anything nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's just, I don't know, U.S. military contractors, just like Blackstone or Blackguard or whatever the fuck.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries there with the IDF, I think. Like, it's fucking bullshit.
Actually, it's just mercenaries on the ground.
I think it's U.S. security contractors there distributing aid with the help of the IDF.
Surely people that have no animosity towards Muslims.
Yeah, surely really good people sign up to do these things, right? Surely people who just want to like fight the good fight go in there, and it's not more beat headsets, you know?
Well, no, they expelled all the people that were there for genuinely humanitarian reasons, and now they have mercenaries on the ground.
Fucking say, what a wonderful world we live in. You know what I mean? And so these 4 sites, which really honestly just kind of feel like choke points, are not without their difficulties. I think we could have guessed. On Sunday, it was reported by multiple eyewitnesses, hospital staff, and the International Committee of the Red Cross that Israeli forces opened fire on a crowd trying to get aid at the Rafah distribution site. Wow. There were about 179 casualties, and 21 people were reported dead on arrival at a Red Cross field hospital.
Jesus Christ.
That's just people lining up to like get aid, to just like get food.
See, I thought, I don't know why I thought it would be any different, but I thought maybe they would be trying to build a pretext to say like, look, we're not all totally evil.
Yeah, I thought how the situation was going to go was there just wasn't going to be enough aid for everybody.
Yeah.
And they just turned people around after making them walk a marathon.
But no, they're just like open firing on crowds.
Yeah, it's a choke point.
Cool.
Like it's just like a slaughter.
Jesus
and it's like the
Christ,
IDF, of course, denied these claims by saying, quote, allegations that Israeli soldiers fired on Gazans near or within the aid distribution site were false reports. Findings from an initial inquiry indicate that the IDF did not fire at civilians while they were near or within the humanitarian aid distribution site, and that reports to this effect are false. We investigated ourselves and find that we did nothing wrong. We're the most moral army in the world. 30 lawyers authorized every single bullet that was fired into this crowd. Like, come on, man.
We just know it's untrue. Like, they just lie about this shit.
I don't think they've ever admitted any wrongdoing in any instance, except maybe when they killed their hostages. You remember when 3 hostages were like in the rubble in Gaza City or whatever, and the IDF shot them?
Yeah.
And they're speaking Hebrew, and IDF shot them.
The fucking IDF soldiers are trained to go in there and just like shoot at anything that moves.
Yeah, little did they know Hamas has been learning Hebrew secretly this whole time so that they could trick them.
Type shit Netanyahu would say.
Type shit you'd see on Smotrish's Twitter in Hebrew. Not in English, though, very specifically, right? CNN also went on to report that an Israeli military source said the IDF forces did fire warning shots towards suspects approaching their position approximately a kilometer away from the aid distribution site in an incident that happened several hours before the site opened. So the IDF investigated themselves, said they didn't do jack shit. But an Israeli military source is telling CNN, oh yeah, we did fire at least like something. There was something that
we didn't shoot at the crowd, but like we did a little bit though.
There's also been other reporting that says that they've been using warning shots and like stun grenades in the crowd to make sure to do crowd control.
Stun grenades in the crowd is crazy.
Brother, warning shots to do crowd control? If I hear a shot, I'm running. If I hear a shot, I'm scared.
It's an immediate escalation.
In what fucking world is actually shooting a warning shot meaningful to de-escalate anything or get people to stop doing what they're doing?
In a war zone, especially.
In a war zone where thousands of people are gathered around 4 aid distribution sites throughout the whole entire strip, if you hear a shot, you're not going to know it was a warning shot. If you hear a shot, you're just going to think they're shooting and you're going to run.
Yeah.
Or you're going to do something crazy because you heard a shot and your life is on the line.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then the GHF said, quote, there was no gunfire in the distribution center and also not in the surrounding area. All aid was distributed today without incident. We have heard that these fake reports have been actively fomented by Hamas. They are untrue and fabricated.
Well, I condemn Hamas, so like
I condemn Hamas. Yeah, so it must be true. They must not have done anything. The Red Crescent must be lying. The Red Cross must be lying.
Of course, yeah.
And also Nasser Hospital must be lying. And all these people that got shot dead must be lying.
Yeah, but the IDF investigated itself. So
and the thousands of eyewitnesses that said that they saw this and they heard gunshots and they ran and were trampled. They must have been lying too. You know, that's just how the situation goes. Sometimes people lie.
That's true.
Sometimes people lie.
Never the IDF, the most moral military in the world.
30 lawyers to clear
Only democracy in the Middle East.
They got teams of lawyers. You know? We've developed a complex AI algorithm. That's some real shit they would post, though.
But they did do that. They do have AI algorithms to help with their strikes.
They have AI algorithms on the gun sentry turrets that sat on the fence too, didn't they?
Yeah.
You have that. Can't even make this shit up. Can't even make the most evil thing I could dream up. But continuing on, the GHF, CNN reports that the GHF released surveillance videos showing hundreds of people running towards the distribution point at dawn. One 4-minute video, which was without sound, showed no violence or injuries, but there were what appeared to be 2 bursts of tracer fire nearby. Other GHF videos released later showed hundreds of people carrying away boxes of food. So the video that they released to try and prove their innocence, to try and say that nothing happened, still had gunshots in it. They couldn't find a goddamn video that could clear their name without shots being fired. At least in my mind, that makes me question how many shots are ringing out the whole fucking time. You had to release the one with tracer rounds? Put the one with tracer rounds in there so that they know we're firing warning shots.
This is the best looking one we have. This is the only one that will make us look... This makes us look good compared to all the other ones.
And it's like a 4-minute video. Like this is a multi-hour long operation, dog. You got a lot to scrub through. I'm sure there are 4-minute stretches where there isn't gunfire, but that's the one that you pick? They constantly tell on themselves, and they just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? CNN had its own video that showed that thousands of people like running away from the site. Some were carrying plastic bags and empty cardboard boxes, but none appeared to have received any aid. These motherfuckers are just lying. Just plain and simple. They're just lying about things. The aid that they give out just isn't enough for anybody. One eyewitness on the ground said that they just put food on wood pallets, close the gates, and let people come in and grab whatever they need. It's just like a mosh pit down there. It's absurd. You have thousands of people looking for their first meal in forever.
Jesus, man.
Oh my goodness. One man said they couldn't even reach the place that aid was being handed out, while others were saying that the distribution center is basically a death trap.
Well, yeah, but like the IDF investigated itself and found they did nothing wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't do anything wrong though.
So
there was another eyeyewitness that said they're just sniping people. Like,
oh my god.
I don't know if that's
IDF has been known to do that.
And it's like the IDF has been known to just snipe kids throwing rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't confirm if any of this stuff is true or not, but like, one, the fact that it's plausible is already damning enough.
Yeah.
And two, yeah, you know what? Somebody who's in a crowd of thousands of people hearing gunshots, yeah, I'm gonna think maybe a sniper's going out too. The fact of the matter is there were gunshots that hit people in the crowd, and there are like dozens of people that are dead now. The estimates are like 31 with like 200 casualties.
Oh, yeah.
It's just bad.
So those people just fell dead suddenly. Like IDF had no involvement.
All of a sudden, there's a bullet that materialized in their chest and their head in some instances too. Like it just got there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then there's now just constant videos of people just having funerals on the street for the people that were dead. It's like they just died. Did Hamas do a false flag?
Well, and that's what they always say is like, oh, we found this mass grave and they all had bullets in the back of their heads. It must have been Hamas.
Exactly.
And they just get away with saying that shit, like unsubstantiated. They just get to say that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's fucked up. And that was just what happened on like Sunday, right? That's what happened on Sunday, June 1st. Before Sunday's casualties, CNN also went to report that there's about 11 people who have been killed and dozens others injured since the aid distribution operation opened last week, May 26th.
So people just keep getting hurt here.
It's just bad. It's just not good. This type of thing was not happening when World Central Kitchen was there. This type of thing was not happening when UNRWA was able to like walk through and do shit.
Yeah. I think it's literally what Netanyahu said. He's just like, if we don't give out aid, then the UN's going to get mad at us. So we have to do something to give out aid. Let's make it a fucking mess and not try. Give out
like not even the bare minimum amount of aid. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. I think I'd seen an estimate that they pushed out that said they had given out like 4 million meals over the last 7 days. And it's like, that's not enough to have a meal every day. Like that sounds like a lot.
The Gaza Strip is 2 million people.
Yeah, the exact figure will be in like the link in the description. I just don't have it right now in the show notes. But like, yeah, the Gaza Strip is filled with 2 million people.
That's 2 meals a person.
You're telling me you're giving out like 4 million meals over the last week?
That's not enough.
That's not even a meal a person per day. That's not a good number. Why would you publish that? Whatever, man. That's the aid situation in Gaza right now. Once again, it continues to be very bad, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Nobody's doing anything.
Except Greta. I saw Greta Thunberg is like getting on a ship, like the Freedom Flotilla, and like trying to like I guess illegally break the blockade and get into Israel to give out food, which is based and cool, by the way.
Yeah.
But what's funny, and I guess where we can end on a lighter note with this, is Lindsey Graham.
Yes.
Lindsey Graham quote tweeted the tweet talking about how Greta Thunberg is getting on the ship and said, I hope you learn how to swim. Because the last Freedom Flotilla was bombed off the coast of Malta by Israel. Brother, grown-ass men have been beefing with Greta Thunberg since she was 15 years old. That's just what the right has been doing. People in power have been beefing with like a Swedish 15-year-old forever.
And it's like,
and now he's joking about something that very realistically could happen.
He's joking about her dying.
Yeah.
Essentially. And Rashida Tlaib got censured in the House for saying from the river to the sea. Lindsey Graham is out here talking about
killing an activist.
Killing an activist.
Like 22-year-old.
For fun, yeah. Like, I don't know, man. These people are crazy.